Hey everybody, so last night I saw the Angry Birds Movie 2, directed by Thorpe Van Orman and John Rice, starring Jason Sudeikis, Josh Gad, Danny McBride, Leslie Jones, Bill Hader, Rachel Bloom, Aquafina, Sterling K. Brown, and Peter Dinklage. The first movie was a cash grab and a known video game title being turned into a movie way too late for it to be any form of relevant, but ended up being a good deal of fun. The second really does not need to exist, in my opinion, but I'm glad that it does in some weird way. Me, this movie is very funny. A lot of the humor that resonates with me in this movie, a lot of the humor that resonates with me, period, is in this movie. And in some ways, it's unfortunate because it's a bunch of random sight gags and jokes thrown at the screen that I tend to like when I'm watching a movie. A lot of it's a musical cue or a sight gag or just something random that a character does or throwing on screen that I find overtly funny. And I know it's dumb, childish humor, but that's what I like to see on screen. Shit. There's not a lot of smartly crafted comedy in this movie, but the comedy that is there works surprisingly well, and I found myself laughing a lot throughout this movie. I would dare say that this is also one of the funniest movies I've seen this entire year from that aspect. I think the animation is a bit spotty at some points, and everything looks a little bit too glossy, but it is overall serviceable. I think I would still place it as my second favorite animated movie of the year behind The Missing Link, but it feels good to get a decent animated movie because it feels like this year has been terrible animated movie wise. On the negative side of things, I felt that a lot of the voice acting performances in this movie were very poor. The main four of Danny McBride, Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, and Josh Gad do good jobs in their roles, but Peter Dinklage, Leslie Jones, and a lot of the rest of the cast simply feel out of place in their roles. It just feels that everyone outside of the main four felt awkward in their voice roles and didn't. It really sticks out while you're watching this movie and listening to their audio. And finally, the story feels a little bit thin. The entire thing has almost nothing to do with the game besides the opening sequence, but the actual meat of the story feels like it has been stretched way too thin. The movie is about an hour and a half long, and it feels like the writers took every possible opportunity to extend the runtime somehow by slowing the pacing down so they could pad the runtime. Plus, I feel that only Red, Sudeikis' character, uh, is the only character in the entire story that gets an actual story arc and has something happen to him that changes him. And even then, it feels a little skimpy and a bit thrown together. Overall, I would say that I liked Angry Birds 2. The title is a mouthful, certainly, but it's a good deal of fun comedy wise, and I'm going to give it a 6.6 out of 10.